Hi, I'm Mike Stanzik with Digital Electronics Classroom, and today we're going to build a 74LS32 two-input OR gate configuration just to look at the operation of the gate. And so I'll go ahead and place my gate. Now, one thing that you might want to take a look at here is that there is a little notch right here, and that tells us where the first pin is on this side. Sorry, my dog's hair is in there. The first pin, and then it's going to run along the outside for our 14-pin dual inline package, and then this will allow us to know which pins we're working with when we're connecting it together. So I'll go ahead and bridge the gap here as I build it. Maybe give it a little more space for our inputs devices. Okay, and I'll press it down nice and good so it's down there. Okay, perfect. We have to build a couple of buttons, so I'll go ahead and place these buttons in. I'll do one up here and one down here. Okay, great. And for these buttons we're going to need to have power and ground, so I got these two power and ground jumpers that we can plug in, and then I'm going to jump across to the other rail. So how these rails work here, so you can see there's a positive, and then all the way along here these are connected together. So if I connect the ends of these to my power supply, then I will have my 5 volts. These are TTL, so they run on 5 volts, and so we have 5 volts and ground all the way along. And I want it on this other rail too, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump it across so that we have it on the other rail as well. And then I can do the same thing with the positive. Perfect. And do you see how the wires are cut? I hope you can kind of see it, where they go all the way down to the board. And I don't have any exposed wire there, so they can't accidentally touch each other. And that's intentional. Okay. All right, so let's build the rest of these buttons. So I want them to be active high. So on one side, I'm going to connect it to 5 volts. I had it right the first time. Connect it to 5 volts on the one side. And then on the other side, I will connect to ground through a 10K resistor. So here's a 10K resistor connecting to ground. And this 10K resistor is called a pull-down resistor, and it allows us to have 2 separate nodes so that when I press the button, it doesn't short it to ground. Okay, and then on the other side, the same thing. We're going to have the top pin connected to, if I can get in here, connected to 5 volts, awesome. And then we're going to have through a 10K that bottom pin connected to ground. Great. Okay. So now these inputs I take off of the side with the resistor, and so it's disconnected from 5 volts, but when I press it, that connects it to that 5 volts right there. So I'll take it off of this side right here, and then I'll connect it into the first pin, number 1. Okay, kind of push that down there, and so this is our first input. Number 1 is our first input, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Connect the side that's connected to the resistor to our second input. Bend this a little bit so it goes in nicely. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's in that second input. And then we have our output side, and this output we're going to run to an LED. So I'm going to run it over here to an LED. Actually, we'll do it on this side. This will be great. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to use a green LED today. And on the LED, you can see that there is a longer wire and a shorter wire. And the longer wire is the positive side. So I'll put that in the row with our output, and then the other one will go into the next row. And then I need a current limiting resistor. And so this current limiting resistor is I think I have a 220, and so they'll connect that to ground right there. It could be 220, 330, and those are typical values. The last thing I need to do is make sure that I power and ground my actual chip. And so I'm going to connect this power to pin 14, and then I'll connect to ground, pin 7, ground here to pin 7, just like that. And now we can just connect it to our power and see if it works. And so this is an OR, so it should light up on either OR being pressed or both being pressed. Lights up on that one, lights up on that one, lights up on both. And there we have it. There is an OR gate built up on this board with 2 active high inputs and then a green LED output, current limited with a 220 ohm resistor. I hope you found some value in that and enjoyed watching. I'm Mike Stanzik. This is Digital Electronics Classroom. And until next time, have a wonderful day.